In this video, we look at calculating the slope between 2 points. We have 2 points here, the point here at 0, 1, and we also have a point here at 3, 3. So just to remember that the slope is equal to the rise over the run. We also said it was the change in y over the change in x. So we need to figure out what the change in y is. So the change in y, our y value here is 1, indicated by this value here. So we could count and see that the rise is 2, and the run is 1, 2, 3. So that the slope is the rise over the run, which is 2 over 3. It works really well if you have a grid and you can count things. However, we can also find the slope between those 2 points without counting the squares on the graph, and we can do that by just finding what is the difference in the y values. So notice here the difference in the y values. So the equation here, so the slope is equal to the change in the y values divided by the change in the x values. So it doesn't matter which point we choose to be our point number 1 and which one we choose to be our point number 2, as long as we're consistent. So if I choose this point 0, 1 to be point number 1, then my x1 is here and my y1 is here, which makes x2 here and y2 over here. So these all kind of match up. So let's go ahead and substitute into the equation. So y2 was this value right here, which is a 3. y1 is over here. It was a 1. x2 we've labeled here as a 3. And x1 is right here. It's a 0. We can simplify this. 3 minus 1 is 2. 3 minus 3 is, 3 minus 0 is 3. And you can see we get the exact same answer. Just a reminder, the short form for slope is just the letter m. So we get slope of 2/3, both cases. If it's on a graph and it's easy to calculate, you can certainly do that. Just count the number of squares, but sometimes that becomes kind of tedious. Let's look at a second example here. So we have a point over here and a point down here. So the first point is -1, 1, and the second point is 4, -3. I'm going to call this point number 1, so I'm going to call this x1 and y1. I'll call this x2 and y2. And again, we could count the squares, or we could just use the formula. So if we want to find the slope of this line segment that connects those 2 points, we can draw our picture. This is the rise. This is the run. So the slope here would equal the change in y over the change in x, which is also y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Plug in our values. Our y2 was -3. y1 is over here. It's 1. So -3, take away 1. And then we need to subtract x2, which is 4. And x1, which is -1. Be careful here of the integer work. -3 take away 1 is -4. And then 4 minus -1. That's the same as adding, so we get 4 plus 1, which is 5. So the slope here is -4/5. So that's how we can find the slope fairly easily by using the equation.